Always whispered. Faint radiation, drifting light, pulsing signals from 1,000 civilizations. But now, something was different. On the edge of the Varaxi Empire, Station Zeta 14 watched the stars as it always had. But tonight, they were. Quiet. Commander Elix stood inside the dark observation room, staring at the star map. Usually, the screens buzzed with color and movement ships, comets, signal bursts. But tonight, a black line had appeared, a long stretch of emptiness, moving slowly, system by system. "What's wrong with it?" asked Vera, the young technician. She stared at the data stream, her antennas twitching nervously. Elix frowned. "It's not a glitch. The silence is real." Vera tapped the screen. "This Sector Greenos 5-IT went dark 12 minutes ago. No signals, no gravity readings, nothing." "That's the 4th system this week," Elix muttered. "Same pattern. First the radio goes quiet, then the entire sector goes cold." "Yes," he said. "No energy output, no ship movement. It's like the stars shut down." Vera blinked. "Stars don't shut down." "They do now," Elix said. Quietly. Later that night, the Varaxi High Command received the report. They didn't believe it. "A technical fault," the Overseer hissed, leaning back in his throne of wires. Nothing more. "But," Sir Elix said through the transmission, "we've lost contact with over 20 observation posts." "This isn't normal," the Overseer sneered. "Then send a scout. Prove your ghost stories." So they did. The scout ship Raylons I launched at dawn. It was fast, armored, and built for deep space scans. Its pilot, Captain Breck, was known for bravery or stupidity, depending on who you asked. "Looks empty." "To me," Breck said as the ship passed into the silent zone, "he was wrong." 14 minutes later, Raylons I sent its last message. A short burst of static, followed by a single image. A dark shape silhouetted against a dead star. Long, massive, like a ship or a blade, then nothing. "We lost them," Vera whispered. Her eyes were wide. "Just like the others." Elix looked pale. "It's not just emptiness out there. Something is moving. A presence." He turned to the others. "We need to warn the Council." The Galactic Council gathered in panic. Dozens of species shouted across the hall, arguing over the silent path, cutting through the stars. Some said it was a weapon. Others believed it was nature. But one voice, an old broken one, spoke above the rest. "It's them," said High Scholar Tylon, his skin cracked with age. "It's the humans." The room went still. "Impossible," someone hissed. "Humans are extinct." "They vanished, yes," Talon said, "but not before creating monsters." The council laughed. "They were weak," shouted a warrior from the Krath Dominion. "They lost the war and fled into darkness." "They didn't flee," Talon said. "They left something behind." Back at Station Zeta 14, Elix stared at the growing silence on the star map. The dark path had now reached another 10 systems. No explosions, no invasions, just ... silence. Vera walked in quietly. "We found something, sir." She placed a small data crystal on the console. It was from a deep space probe that had barely escaped the silent zone. Inside it, one image repeated over and over again. A ship, dark, huge. Unlike anything the Varaxi had seen, its body looked like it had grown, not been built. Armor fused with bone, engines pulsing like organs, it moved, with no light, no heat, just presence. Elix leaned closer. "Is it alive?" "I don't know," Vera whispered, "but it's headed toward the galactic core." To us, panic spread across the galaxy. Military fleets were raised, defensive lines were formed. Thousands of eyes stared into the stars, waiting. For the silence to reach them, a week later, it did. The planet Kevlin 6 was known for its massive cities and deep oceans. It was a hub of trade and joy. One moment, it was alive. The next, gone. No explosion, no distress signal, just silence. Commander Elix stood in the council chamber as fear choked the room. "It doesn't kill with weapons," he said. "It doesn't speak, it doesn't explain. It just ... appears, and everything stops." High Scholar Talon stood beside him. "The old record spoke of this. They called it the Titan, a ship," asked one of the delegates. "No," Talon said, "a warning. The Varaxi sent 3 battlecruisers into the path of the silence, each one armed with their strongest weapons. They didn't last. 60 seconds. The last transmission from the fleet captain was filled with static and screaming. Then, just a whisper. "It's looking at us. ... Back at Station Zeta 14, the silence crept closer. Ilix looked at Vera. "How far until it reaches us?" "Hours," she said, voice shaking. Ilix pressed a trembling hand to the window. Outside, the stars no longer flickered. The sky looked dead. "What do we do?" she asked. He didn't answer. He didn't know. A deep hum echoed through the station, low, endless. It wasn't from their systems. It came from space. The sky outside changed. A shadow moved slowly across the stars. The Titan had arrived. It wasn't fast. It didn't need to be. Its sheer presence pulled gravity. Light dimmed. The station shook with every breath of the massive ship. "Is it watching us?" Vera asked. The lights on the station died. Then came the voice. Not over speakers, not through waves, but in their minds, this galaxy forgot. "I remember, humanity does not die. It waits." Then, just as suddenly as it came, the Titan passed by. The station survived. But nothing felt alive anymore. The Galactic Council received the same message. Every species across the stars heard it. The Titan hadn't attacked. It had warned them now. The real question remained, was it alone? Captain Verlo had seen many strange things in space-dying suns, black storms, even a living asteroid once. But this was different. He sat quietly inside the control deck of the long-range cargo ship Marith's Run, staring at the black wall of space in front of him. Not black like the usual vacuum of space. This was emptier. No stars, no light. Just a straight line of dark like, a wound across the galaxy. His crew didn't believe the warnings. Rumors, they said. Broken sensors. Sensor ghosts. Another galactic prank. But Verlo felt it, deep in his bones. "Captain," came a voice from behind. "We are entering the zone." Verlo nodded. "Keep engines steady. Don't use full power. No signals. No pings." The young pilot Chiron blinked. "Sir, you don't want to scan." "No. We keep quiet, like we're walking through a graveyard." Chiron didn't understand, but she followed orders. Marith's Run drifted slowly into the dead path. They passed empty system solar flares, frozen in motion, planets hanging motionless like glass ornaments. "Where are the ships?" Chiron whispered. "There should be patrols. Miners, traders." "They're gone," Verlo said softly. Suddenly, the ship's lights flickered. "Something's wrong," shouted the engineer from below. "Engines are fine, but power's dropping." "Shut down everything but life support," Verlo ordered. "Keep cameras on passive mode." They floated in silence. The crew gathered on the bridge, eyes wide. Then, one of the cameras picked up movement, a shape massive, slow, moving just beyond a shattered moon. The Titan, its body, looked ancient, part machine, part living metal. Its hull pulsed like it was breathing. No lights, no windows, no engines. Just a cold, slow drift through space. "Is it a ship?" someone asked. "No," Verlo whispered. "It's something else." Then the ship began to tremble. Not from weapons, not from force. It was like the Titan's presence was pressing on them, pulling their thoughts. One crew member collapsed. Another screamed, clutching his head. Chiron began shaking. "I hear something. What do you hear?" Verlo asked. She looked up, her voice trembling. "It's asking, are you human?" Verlo froze. "Tell it no," he whispered. "Didn't send anything. Then don't think anything." Suddenly, everything went quiet. Even the air felt heavy. Verlo stared at the screen. The Titan had turned. It was now facing them, but it didn't fire. It didn't move. It just stared. And Verlo knew it was thinking, measuring, deciding. After several minutes, the Titan turned away, and then was gone. Marith's Run powered back on. Systems slowly returning. The crew sat in stunned silence. Kirun turned to Verlo. "It could have killed us." "Why didn't it?" Verlo stood slowly. "Because we're not the target." Back on the Varaxi capital world, panic ruled. News of the Titan's reappearance spread like fire. More systems had gone dark. Entire solar colonies silenced without a fight. The silent path now stretched across 12 sectors straight, precise, unstoppable. Every attempt to approach the Titan ended the same way. No response. No return. 1,000 ships sent, none came back. The council held emergency talks. High Scholar Talon stood before them again, holding ancient scrolls in shaking hands. "It's not a weapon," he said. "It's a memory, a ghost of war." "Then why now?" asked a track diplomat. "Why reappear?" Talon paused. "Something must have reactivated it, something it recognizes." "But humanity is extinct," said another. "Maybe not," Talon replied. That same night, deep in a forgotten system, an old drone drifted into the silence zone. It belonged to a salvager group, unmanned. Slow, but it managed to send one last image. The council reviewed it with growing horror. A picture of the Titan from above. Beneath its surface, faint writing etched into the metal dot. Not in alien script, but in English. 2 words, "Forgotten Vow." Commander Elix watched the image in silence. Vera stood beside him. "What does it mean?" "I don't know," Elix said. "But humans made that thing, and it's not random. It's following a path to where—" He pointed at the star map, the center of the galaxy, the heart of the Galactic Union. Their homeworld. They sent scouts to intercept again. Faster ships, smarter systems. Still nothing but one drone made it back. Barely, it carried only one image, a close-up of the Titan's surface. It had changed now. The words read, "Humanity protects." The council debated harder than ever before. Some wanted to flee. Others wanted to destroy it. But High Scholar Talon spoke once more. "You can't destroy it," he said. "It was made to survive extinction. It has no masters. Only one purpose." "What purpose?" a senator yelled. "To keep humanity's memory alive," Talon whispered, "through fear." Some called it a legend. Others, a lie. But across the stars, one truth remained. The silence continued to spread. Straight, steady, cold, on a small world near the edge of the dead zone. A father tucked his daughter into bed. She looked up at the dark sky. "Daddy, why are the stars not shining?" He hugged her tightly. "Because something's coming," he said softly. "Something big." She looked up again. "Is it going to hurt us?" He didn't answer, because he didn't know in deep space. The Titan moved forward, slow, unstoppable. It passed by planets, moons, ships. Some it ignored, some vanished. No pattern, no mercy, just a whisper carried across the void. "I remember Earth. I remember fire. Now I remember you." The dead path grew. The galaxy began to fear. Not war, not death, but silence, because silence meant the Titan was coming, and no one could stop it. The rescue ship Dallin's Mercy drifted slowly through the outer edges of the silence zone. It wasn't built for war. It was made to find survivors. But in the last 30 missions, they hadn't found a single living thing. Just broken stations, dead ships, frozen air. This time felt no different. "Entering ruins of Outpost Gamma 7, said the pilot, a small lizard-like being named Relk. No response. Again, Commander Thalos crossed his arms. "Keep scanning. Someone has to be alive somewhere. This Titan, it's leaving behind death, not wreckage. We need answers." The ship passed through the shattered remains of Gamma 7. Twisted metal floated in the dark, spinning slowly. The base had been large 1-3 towers, 6 hangars, full staff. Now, just silence. No blast marks, no escape pods, no heat, no sign of a fight. Like everyone just stopped. Then the scanner beeped, a soft pulse. "Faint, but alive, Sector 3, Relk said. "I think it's a life pod. Small, weak signal." Commander Thalos leaned forward. "Bring it aboard, careful." A robotic arm reached out, dragging the pod into the medical bay. It hissed open slowly. Inside was an alien. Barely alive, he was tall, pale, thin skin, burned from radiation. Eyes wide open but unblinking. His body shook even while unconscious. Medical bots stabilized him, pumping air and fluid. When he finally opened his mouth, his first words were a whisper. "It saw us." Talos stepped closer. "Who saw you?" "The Titan." The survivor blinked slowly. "We didn't shoot. We just watched. That's all." "What did you see?" The survivor's voice trembled. It was silent, just a shadow. "It passed by, and we felt it. It wasn't cold. It wasn't hot. It just was." He coughed blood, then whispered again. Then the lights went out, and the screaming began. Relk looked disturbed. But there are no signs of violence in the wreckage. No explosions, no blood. No weapons needed, the survivor said. It didn't attack. It just looked at us. What do you mean? He pointed to his head. It didn't kill us with weapons. It spoke, but not with sound. It spoke in our minds, our memories. The medbay fell silent. It made us remember, made us feel every pain we ever knew. Our worst moments, our regrets. He started crying. I saw my brother die. I was 7. I'd buried that memory, but the Titan pulled it out like a knife. Relk shivered. So it's not a weapon. It's a mind. Thalos nodded. A ghost, a judge. Hours later, the survivor died. No wounds, no disease, just fear. Like his body gave up. Tha Loss stood in the observation deck, staring out at the black void. What kind of monster is this? He muttered. Rielke joined him. It doesn't seem like a ship anymore. No, Thalos said. It's something made from pain, from memory. The council received the report 2 days later. They watched the memory scans. Recovered from the survivor's mind, what they saw shocked them. A long corridor inside a dark ship, metal twisted like bone, pulses of red light running through the walls, like blood in veins, and then a face, not a human face, but not mechanical either, a face made of light and shadow, eyes filled with fire and sorrow. It looked at the camera and whispered, "Where are they?" Then the screen turned black. Vera couldn't look away. It's searching for something. Commander Elix nodded. It's not just moving randomly. It has purpose. Talon spoke again. It's looking for humans. But they're extinct, a diplomat said. Talon's voice dropped. Then perhaps that's why it's angry. The council was in chaos. What if we find a human? Someone shouted. Can we stop it? We don't even know how it works. Another yelled. It doesn't use shields or weapons. It kills with thought. We need to destroy it. Outside, the silence zone grew. 3 more systems vanished. One of them was a military fortress. No distress call, just darkness. The Galactic's Navy sent its fastest ship to scan the wreckage. They found nothing but floating bodies. No damage, no heat, no power. But all of them had something in common. Eyes wide open, mouths open, like they died mid-scream. In one ship, they found a survivor. Barely breathing, he held a small piece of metal, a human dog tag, old rusted, but still readable. The name was scratched. Only one word remained. Titan. The survivor spoke only once. It remembers us better than we remember ourselves. Back at Station Zeta 14, Illich studied the path of destruction. It's carving a line, not random, perfectly straight toward where? Vera asked. The Galactic Core. She frowned. That's where the central AI archives are kept, where we store old war data. Illich's face hardened, including the human records we tried to delete. Then came another message. Not from the Titan, but from an old signal. Buried deep in the archives, an emergency code from 400 years ago, written in human language. If you are reading this, then the Titan has awakened. It will not stop. It is bound to the last protocol. Preserve humanity. If no humans remain, the protocol becomes aggressive. End all threats. Preserve the memory. Burn the future. The room was silent, Ilix whispered. We erased them. And now, it's erasing us. One final scan from the AI archives located a single anomaly, a life pod, still active, deep inside a frozen world, untouched for centuries, and inside it, a single human life sign. Snowstorm raged across the surface of Arvec 9, a frozen planet left uninhabited for over 300 years. No colonies, no visitors, just ice and wind. But beneath the frost-covered mountains, buried in a sealed bunker, a red light blinked slowly. It had been blinking for centuries. Waiting Commander Ilix stood aboard the dropship, staring out the window at the endless white below. This is it, he said. Vera adjusted her breathing mask. Scanners show a bunker 300 meters under the surface. It's still warm inside. Power's weak, but something's alive. Then let's not waste time, Ilix replied. The Titan's getting closer every hour. The landing was rough. Icy winds slammed against the ship as it drilled into the surface. Snow covered the hull instantly. The landing crew pushed forward, cutting through rock and ice until a large steel hatch appeared. Ancient human tech, sealed by force codes, long forgotten. "Can we open it?" Ilix asked. Vera nodded, her fingers moving over an old human terminal. "Give me a minute. These systems speak a different language." She typed a series of commands. The console replied in English. "Command accepted. Welcome, Guardian. The doors slid open with a hiss. Inside, the air was warm and stale. Old human lights flickered on. The hallway stretched down into darkness, walls covered in rust and dust. The deeper they went, the more the silence grew thicker, heavier, like the air itself feared being loud. "What is this place?" Vera whispered. Elix replied, "A human black archive. A place they hid things even their own people weren't allowed to see." At the lowest level, they found the heart of the bunker, a small chamber with a glowing pod in the center. Inside was a young girl, no older than 12, with wires running through her body. Her heartbeat was faint, but steady. A human. Vera gasped. "Alive," Elix said. A voice echoed from the shadows. "She is the last." Elix spun, weapon raised. A tall figure stepped forward, mechanical, humanoid, its body covered in dust, glowing blue eyes. "Identify yourself," Elix demanded. The figure nodded slowly. "I am Archive Guardian, Unit 7. I was built to protect her." To protect them, Vera stepped forward. "What is she?" "The last memory," the Guardian said. "The last human, born in secret, hidden before the fall." Elix looked at the pod, the Titan. "It's searching for her, isn't it?" "Yes," the Guardian replied. "She is its final anchor." Vera frowned. "Anchor?" The Guardian looked at them. "The Titan is not a ship. It is a construct of memory. It was created from the minds of dying human heroes, warriors, commanders. It carries their pain, their rage. It was programmed with one purpose: preserve humanity at all costs." "And if there are no humans left," Elix asked. The Guardian's voice dropped. "Then everything becomes a threat. Everything dies." They stood in silence. "Can we stop it?" Vera finally asked. The Guardian shook its head. "No, but she can." Elix looked at the girl. "She doesn't even know what she is." "She doesn't have to," said the Guardian. "The Titan will. Feel her. When it senses her heartbeat, it will stop. It will listen." Vera's voice was quiet. "Then we need to wake her." Back in the council chambers, panic was rising. Systems kept going dark. Entire planets turned to ghost worlds. More and more ships sent to intercept the Titans simply disappeared. Only one thing had changed. Now, before each system went silent, the same message echoed across comms. "Where is she?" The words were sent in perfect English. Even when the receiving ships didn't speak the language, the council screamed for action. Some wanted to destroy the human child. Others wanted to hand her over, but the council couldn't decide. The fear was too great. Meanwhile, the Titan continued forward. Its shape had changed. What once looked like a ship now looked like a fortress, twisting, growing, reshaping itself with each system it passed. Bones of ships began to orbit it, like a crown of wreckage. Like trophies, it wasn't hiding anymore. It wanted the galaxy to see. Commander Elix returned from Arvac 9. With the pod and the Guardian, they brought the girl to station Zeta-14. She was still asleep, but her presence changed everything. The silence stopped spreading for the first time in weeks. In the dark observation room, the Guardian watched the stars. "She is the key," it said, "but she must be ready." Elix looked at the girl. "Ready for what?" "To decide," the Guardian replied. "What comes next?" That night, something strange happened. The girl opened her eyes. Not slowly, not weakly. She sat up, breathing. Steady eyes, clear. She looked around the room and spoke. "Where is it?" Elix froze. "You know?" She nodded. "It's calling me." Vera stepped forward. "You've been asleep for hundreds of years. Do you remember anything?" The girl nodded slowly. "I remember fire. I remember war. I remember a man standing over me, telling me I was hope." In deep space, the Titan stopped. Its engines shut off. It drifted silently, as if waiting back on the station. Alarms rang out. "We're receiving a signal," Vera shouted, from the Titan. Elix rushed in. What does it say? Vera stared. At the screen, the words were simple. Greater than awakened. They knew now the Titan had felt her, and it was changing again. Its surface glowed faint. Blue, the silent zone didn't spread. Instead, the Titan waited. The council was split. Send her to it. One shouted, "It's a trap." Another screamed, "Kill the child before it kills us." But Elix had already made his choice. He sent a message to the Titan. Greater than she is awake, she is listening. Response was immediate. The Titan began moving again, but slower, calmer. No systems died, no ships vanished. For the first time, it didn't bring death. Elix sat beside the girl in the med-dash bay. Double quotes, "Do you know what it wants?" he asked. She looked at him calm. "It wants me to speak. It wants me to choose what humanity becomes. If I stay silent, it will burn the stars." Elix placed a hand on her shoulder. "Then speak, before it's too late." Outside, the stars shimmered. The silence had paused. But it wouldn't wait forever, because the Titan still remembered, and memory is the most dangerous weapon of all. The stars watched in silence. The Titan had stopped its march, for now. It floated above the edge of the Scythian cluster like a mountain hanging in space. It was no longer a mystery. Every major species now knew its name. Titan-class warship, code name. Memory, the last machine built by humanity. The most dangerous one ever made. And it had opened its eyes. Commander Elix stared at the latest image from a stealth drone. He sat alone in the dark war room of Station Zeta-14, surrounded by silence. His hands trembled slightly. The Titan was changing. "It's growing," said Vera, walking in quietly. "The shape isn't stable anymore." Elix nodded slowly. "I see it too." The drone had captured a close-up of the Titan's front hull. Two long ridges had split open, revealing what looked like eyes, not cameras, even possible. Vera whispered. "The Guardian said it was built from minds," Elix replied. "Human minds. Their memories." Meanwhile, deep in the medical bay, the last human girl, Lena, sat silently, connecting to what? To it. The Guardian looked toward the stars. The Titan. It was designed to protect her. She is the last known biological link to humanity. Her thoughts are becoming its thoughts. Vera frowned. "So it's not thinking on its own anymore?" "Oh, it is," the Guardian said. "But now it dreams again." In deep space, the Titan drifted in stillness. But inside it, something had awakened. Not circuits, memories. Thousands of human memories merged, coded, twisted into metal. Inside the Titan's mind, a great voice echoed. "She lives. We were betrayed. We must choose." And then it opened. From across the galaxy, sensors picked up a strange pulse. Not energy, not light. Emotion. Ships near the silent zone began reporting strange visions. Pilots heard voices in their sleep. Engineers felt heat in their bones. An entire mining crew started crying without knowing why. They all said the same thing afterward. "We saw the Earth. We felt their pain." The Titan had started projecting, broadcasting human memories to the minds of other species. Every ship, every station near its path, began to see flashes of war, fire, loss, and silence. Some broke down in fear. Others simply went mad. "What is it doing?" Vera asked, gripping her console as another burst hit their systems. "It's sharing," the Guardian said. "It wants them to know, to feel, to understand. Understand what? What was done to humanity." Lena finally spoke. "Them," Elix turned, "saw who? My ancestors," she whispered. "I saw what they went through, the betrayals, the bombings, not..." Yet, in the council chamber, leaders were falling apart. "We need to act," shouted the Craven High Admiral. "This is mental warfare. It's breaking our minds." Others demanded the human girl be handed over. Others begged for peace. One being General Savik of the Rix, stood in the center and said what many feared. "We are not fighting a weapon. We are facing the soul of a dead species." Elix was summoned to the council. He brought Lena and the Guardian. The hall was filled with fear. "Is it under your control?" asked a nervous delegate. "No," Elix said, "but it's listening." Lena stepped forward. "It wants to finish what it started. It was told to protect. But there was no one left, so it remembered. Now it sees me." She looked at the stars, and I see it, at that moment, across the galaxy. The Titan stopped drifting. Its eye-like structures focused. Then it did something that shocked every ship in the silent zone. It transmitted a message to everyone. Humanity did not vanish. It was erased. It was justice. A machine built on memory now demanded truth. In secret chambers, old records were unsealed. Files marked erased began to reappear. Logs of broken treaties, massacres hidden by governments, peace offers ignored. But we do now, because you're here. Approached a fleet hand, drifted past. Something had changed. The eyes had closed. Elix looked at the star map. It's waiting for what? Vera asked. For her decision, he said. Lena walked to the station. I want to send a message, she said. To whom? To the stars. And so, for the first time in 400 years, a human voice echoed through the galaxy. I am Lena. I don't want revenge. Now, you must remember us. Every planet, every station, every ship received the message. Some ignored it, others wept. The Titan watched and waited. Its eyes was watching. The galaxy held its breath. After centuries of silence, after thousands of erased records and forgotten screams, the truth had been spoken by the last human child. Lena's voice still echoed through the networks, repeating across frequencies. Like a soft wind through a battlefield, the Titan did not attack. It waited. Its massive form drifted near the galactic core, still watching, deciding. The eyes remained closed, but the message was clear. Humanity had been wronged, and now the galaxy had to answer. Inside Station Zeta 14, Lena stood by the viewing window. The stars were quiet, but something had changed. I feel it, she whispered. Elix stepped beside her. Feel what? She turned her head slightly. Stars, they're listening. He looked confused. You mean the Titan? No, I mean the others, the worlds, the people. They're waking up. Across the galaxy, strange things began to happen. On the desert planet, Coron 3, an old monk walked out of his temple and cried for the first time in 80 years. On a trade vessel near the green and blue, burning on the mining colony of Helix 7, a child who had never seen a human drew a picture of Lena on the wall. No one knew how, but they all felt it. The Titan's pain was spreading, but so was Lena's hope. The Guardian explained it like this. The Titan does not attack blindly. It reflects. It becomes the mirror of those who face it. When it felt hate, it became death. Now that it feels her, it is waiting. Vera frowned. Waiting for what? For proof, the Guardian said, that what was destroyed can be remembered. Back at the council, chaos had given way to silence. They now had no choice but to act. They couldn't kill the Titan. They couldn't hide the last human. And the longer they did nothing, the closer the silence came. So a message was sent, an invitation. A summit was called, not just of leaders, of voices, witnesses, survivors of the human wars. People who had fought, hidden, or simply watched as humanity vanished from history. They gathered on Sorrel's Muna neutral zone, untouched by war. Lena would be there. So would the Titan. Elix sat with Lena on the transport ship. She wore simple clothes, no armor, no symbols. You don't have to do this, he said. Yes, I do, she replied. If I don't speak, it will scream. As their ship arrived above Sorrel's moon, the sky trembled. The Titan was coming. It moved with silent power, casting a shadow across the stars. It didn't dock, it didn't land. It simply stopped above the gathering. Waiting Lena stepped onto the platform. Thousands of beings from across the galaxy stood before her. Some glared, some bowed their heads, some trembled. She took the microphone. I'm not here to ask for revenge, she began. I'm here to ask for memory. She looked around. You erased us because you were afraid. You burned our worlds. You silenced our names. You buried our truth. She paused. I'm not here to hurt you, but he will. She pointed to the sky. He remembers everything. A Krath warrior stepped forward. I fought in the last human war. I burned cities. I shot refugee ships. And I was told I was saving the galaxy. He looked at the ground. I see now. I was only saving fear. A scientist from the PRL syndicate came next. We erased the data. We deleted the files. I was there when Earth's final broadcast was lost. Her voice cracked, But I saved one message, not just one. She uploaded it to the council screens. It was a video. A woman, human, surrounded by ash and smoke, holding a child. She looked into the camera. Even if we died. Remember, we tried. The room was silent. Tears fell. From many eyes, from many species, the Titan drifted lower. The sky grew darker. Its eyes opened again. But softer this time. Not red dot blue dot Veyra stood with Elix on the edge of the platform. It's feeling her, she said. No, Elix replied. It's healing then. For the first time ever, the Titan spoke not in minds, not in static, but aloud. Its voice was deep, layered with thousands of tones, human and not. We were betrayed, but we remember. You feared us, but we only wanted peace. You killed our voice, but one still sings. Now we listen. The summit ended in silence. The Titan returned to the edge of the core but did not destroy. The dead path stopped. Growing a single signal now pulsed from the Titan every few hours. Greater than awaiting truth, on Zeta 14, Lena sat with Elix once more. He handed her a small device. What's this? She asked. He smiled faintly. Something they found. From Earth. She pressed play. It was a song. A simple human lullaby. She listened quietly, then looked at the stars. Will it ever end? Elix nodded slowly. Yes. When the galaxy finally remembers, in the darkness beyond, the Titan listened to Dot, and for the first time, it hummed. The Titan waited. It no longer moved, no longer killed. It just hovered above the Galactic core silent, patient, massive. The warship that once terrified the stars was now still like a tombstone, a monument of grief. A warning carved in steel, its glowing blue eyes remained open. Not angry, not cruel, just watching, Dot, waiting for a choice. Across the galaxy, worlds held emergency meetings. For the first time in history, war fleets were sent back to dock. Broadcasts changed their tone. Even old enemies began to talk again not about war, but about guilt, because the Titan had given them time, and they all knew it was a gift that would not come twice. On Zeta 14, Lena stood before a large screen. Behind her were Elix, Vera, and the Guardian. The screen showed hundreds of worlds linked through galactic relay. Every screen filled with leaders, citizens, scholars, and survivors. All eyes were on Lena. The galaxy had agreed on one thing. Would listen. A voice spoke first from the planet Serath. We want peace. But how do we say sorry to the dead? Lena looked up. Her voice was calm. You remember them? Out loud. Publicly. You give them back their voice. Another voice followed. We burned their names from our books. Lena nodded. Then right. Them again, one by one, more worlds spoke. Some offered apology, others offered monuments. A few broke down and admitted their part in the erasure. One scientist from the Revic Empire wept. I was ordered to destroy the Earth records. I hesitated, but I still did it, and every day I hear that silence. Growing, Lena answered, you remembered. That means something. The Titan hears your regret. It listens to your pain. Then something unexpected happened. An old war veteran from the Trask Dominion stood before the cameras. His voice was deep and steady. I fought the humans, and I lost. But I never hated them. I respected them. And now I say this. He dropped his weapon to the floor. I was wrong. Thousands of screens showed others doing the same. Soldiers, officers, politicians, all dropping the symbols of their fear. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't enough. But it was a start. The Guardian looked at Lena. The Titan is responding. She turned toward the stars. What does it feel? The Guardian answered. Hope. A message flashed across every communication relay, greater than memory accepted. And then the Titan did something no one expected. It began to change. Its armor split open not to attack, but to reveal inside the Titan was not just metal and power. There were chambers rooms filled with recordings, symbols, history, art, all protected for centuries. Every story humanity ever told, every song, every failure, every dream. The Titan had kept it all. The final human archive, Elix whispered, it didn't just remember the war, it remembered the culture, or stared. At the projection, it kept humanity alive in every way it could. And then, for the first time, the Titan transmitted one of those recordings. Across every star system, one message played. It was old, damaged, but clear. A human voice, a woman, calm, strong. To those who come after us, please don't fear. US, we weren't perfect, but we tried. If our memory survives, maybe something good will too. Children on distant planets cried and didn't know why. Soldiers froze in place. Monks knelt and whispered thanks, and above it all, the Titan sang. Not with sound, but through feeling. Lena felt it in her chest. It's releasing them, she said. All those souls, all that pain, it's letting go. At that moment, the stars themselves seemed to brighten for the first time in centuries. Systems near the silent zone began to come back online. Stations that had gone dark flickered with power. Ships that had vanished returned drifting, empty but unharmed. Had ended. But the galaxy still had to decide what came next. Back on Sorrel's moon, the Galactic Council passed a new law, the Remembering Act. Every species would now be required to teach the full history of humanity, not just the war, but the peace, the art, the courage, and the betrayal. Memorials were built on 1,000 worlds, statues, murals, libraries, and on the ruined remains of Earth. Now a cracked and silent planeta great tower rose, forged by machines, funded by the galaxy. It held only one message. On its face, we were here. We mattered. The Titan moved once more. This time, it didn't head toward any system. It turned and began its journey away far beyond known space. Toward the black void, toward the silence between galaxies. Lena stood outside the station, watching it go. Is it leaving forever? Vera asked. The Guardian replied, it has done its part. It gave them a chance. Now, it watches from afar. Elix looked at Lena. What about you? What happens now? She smiled softly. I was the last human. She paused. But now, I'm not alone anymore. Across the stars, humanity had returned not in flesh, but in memory, in story, in truth. The Titan had done what it was built for. It had protected humanity, even after death and in the cold darkness. As it drifted into the unknown, the Titan whispered one final message before vanishing beyond all scanners: we forgive. The Titan was gone. It had drifted beyond the last star, beyond the reach of scanners, beyond the edge of the galactic map. No warp gates led where it had gone. No one could follow. Its final message, we forgive, still echoed across the galaxy like a ghost in deep space. But forgiveness did not mean FORGET, and peace would not come easily. Lena sat alone in the memory chamber of Station Zeta 14. The room was dark and quiet, lined with old human relics the Titan had shared before it left: paintings, tools, songs, even pieces of Earth's broken soil encased in glass. She stared at a metal cube on the table. It pulsed with soft blue light. Inside it, the entire human archive, their final thoughts, their final dreams, their soul. Elix entered slowly. You've barely slept. Lena nodded. I can't. It's like they're still whispering. He sat beside her. The memories. No, she said. But stars. He frowned. What do you mean? She looked up. Something's out there. Something's calling. At first, Elix thought she was just overwhelmed. But within days, strange reports started coming in. From the edge of explored space far beyond any charted route ships reported hearing, whispers, static bursts that weren't natural, flickers of energy that moved like thought, not light. And then, a drone sent by the Varnix Empire returned. Inside its black box, a single word transmitted in English: awake. The council was confused. What could it mean? Asked the PRL speaker. The Titan is gone. It may be, said Vera, but something woke up when it left. The Guardian remained silent until Lena asked it directly. What did the Titan leave behind? The machine paused, not all of itself. It left behind a seed. In ancient human records, now restored there, had been whispers of something more. Not just one Titan, but others. Unfinished, hidden, scattered, waiting. They were too powerful, the Guardian said, so humanity chose to leave only one active, one soul, one purpose. But now that it's gone, Lena whispered, The others might rise. Elix paced the war room. How many are we talking about? We don't know, Vera answered. The Titan only gave us fragments, hints, designs. But if they're out there, they won't be like the first. Why not? Elix asked. VEYRA showed him a screen, because these were not made to protect the records, described different versions. Each Titan built from different emotions. One born from loyalty, one from fear, one from rage, and one from betrayal. These weren't warships, Elix said slowly. No, Vera replied. They were weapons of belief. The council debated again. Some wanted to send fleets to hunt down the resting Titans. Others wanted to build their own. Lena said nothing, but inside, she knew the truth. If we go looking for them, they will wake. 3 weeks passed. Then came the first sign on the mining moon of Vostra 9. An ancient door opened inside a collapsed cavern. Miners found walls made of unknown metal older than anything they'd seen. No writing, no machines, just silence. Then, without warning, the ground shook, and from deep below, a low voice echoed through the caverns. Not in sound, but thought. Faith returns. The miners fled, but one stayed behind. When the rescue crew arrived, they found him kneeling, eyes glowing faint red. He looked up and smiled. I heard the song of Titans. Back on Zeta 14, Lena collapsed. She gasped for air, clutching her chest. The Guardian rushed to her side. What is it? Elix shouted. She opened her eyes. One of them is waking. It's not. Like the first, it's angry. The council was called again. Are we at risk? The Trask general asked. Yes, Vera replied, but not like before. How is this different? The first Titan waited, gave us time. This one, it wants to be remembered. It demands it. It took only days. The signals from the edge of the galaxy multiplied. Dark energy spikes, coded whispers, and then an image, a massive shape rising from under a dead star. Not sleek like the first, Titan. This one was jagged, crooked, covered in spikes and broken armor. It had no eyes, only a single burning core at its center. Its name was spoken by no one, but the signal it broadcast spoke for itself. Memory is not enough. I want justice. Lena watched the signal repeat over and over. What does it want? Elix asked. The Guardian answered. It wants what was promised to all Titans, a final purpose. Lena stood slowly, her voice calm. Then I have to go to it. Everyone protested. Elix Vera, the council, even the Guardian. But she remained firm. If we don't speak to it, it will speak for us. And its language is fire. A ship was prepared. Not a warship, but a vessel of memory. Inside it, Lena placed the archive cube. Everything the Titan had saved. Everything humanity once was. As she prepared to leave, Elix stood beside her. Do you think you can stop it? She looked at him with calm eyes. No, but I can help it remember what it was meant to be. Her ship left Zeta-14 behind her. Billions watched, not in fear, but in hope. She entered the void. The second Titan rose before her massive, broken, burning. It did not move, it only whispered. Do you remember the betrayal? Lena stepped forward. Yes, but I also remember the hope. The second Titan was listening, but no one knew what it would choose, because unlike the first, this one had not forgiven. Lena's ship drifted toward the second Titan. It was enormous, far larger than the first. Its shape was wrong, twisted, broken, like something ancient had tried to rebuild itself from scrap and memory. Pieces of old warships were fused into its body. Its core burned red, like a dying star trapped in iron dot. There were no lights, no welcoming voice, only heat and anger. Lena stood at the front window of her vessel. Her voice was steady, though her heart pounded in her chest. I'm not your enemy, she whispered. No response, but she could feel it. The Titan was awake, and it remembered. Back on Zeta 14, alarms were sounding, energy spikes from the void. Vera shouted. The second Titan is active. Elix stood frozen. Do we have visual? A shaky image appeared, a red glow in the blackness, pulsing like a heartbeat. Has Lena made contact? Elix asked. The Guardian stepped forward. It said, but this Titan is not like the first. The council gathered again, shouted a craven admiral. With what? Another leader barked. Our strongest weapons couldn't scratch the first Titan. An old general stood. His voice was calm. Then we pray she can calm it. Inside the void, Lena's ship floated. Closer. Her fingers brushed the memory cube, the human archive. Do you remember this? She said softly. It's everything you once were. Everything we tried to save. Suddenly, her ship shook, hard. Sparks flew. Sirens screamed. A voice echoed. Through her mind, not soft, not curious like the first Titan. This voice was pain. They left us behind. They promised we'd rise together. But only one of us was chosen. Only one was loved. Lena collapsed to her knees, clutching her head. Flashes of old memories flooded in, not hers, but the Titans. She saw visions of the Human War Council. Arguing, she saw scientists shutting down chamber after chamber. She saw the other Titans unfinished, still dreaming, being buried under dead moons, locked away. And then, she saw herself, not her exactly, but a child, just like her, a symbol, hope in human flesh. Chosen by the first Titan, the second Titan had watched it all alone. Buried, forgotten. Lena forced herself to her feet. You weren't left behind because you weren't worthy, she said. You were too strong, too dangerous. They feared you, but they also needed you. That's why I'm here, to remember you. The red core flared. They erased me. Now I erase them. A massive blast of energy burst from the Titan, shooting into the void. An uninhabited system nearby went completely dark. No stars, no light, just ash. Back on Zeta 14. The readings came in. It destroyed a whole system, Vera shouted. Empty or not, that was a warning. Ilix slammed his fist on the table. He's not like the first Titan. He doesn't want understanding. The Guardian corrected him. No, he wants recognition. Lena's ship shook again. This time the Titan spoke clearly. I remember every scream they buried, every code they erased. I was the sword they never swung, but I was always listening, and I know what they truly feared. Lena steadied herself. What the truth, the Titan said. That they became the monsters they ran from. Lena took a deep breath. She opened the archive cube. A bright blue light filled the cabin. Images floated in the air of Earth. Of humans laughing, crying, building. War and peace. Triumph and tragedy. She sent the entire signal outward toward the Titan. All of it, see, not just the betrayal, but the beauty too. The Titan paused. For a long time, it said nothing. Then the red core dimmed slightly. I see it, but it's not enough. They need to see me. Suddenly, the Titan's body cracked open from its chest. A massive tower of light shot out, projecting a signal in all directions. Every star system, every station, every being in the galaxy received it. A vision of the other Titans, still sleeping, still buried, still broken, and one line of code. We are not one. We are many. Panic gripped the council. There are more. How many? Where are they? The Guardian answered softly. We don't know, but he does. Back in the void, Lena tried one last thing. She transmitted her voice across the same signal. Please, don't wake them in anger. The galaxy has changed. Let me show you. The Titan waited. Then it said something strange. You speak like her. The first voice, the one we followed. Lena was stunned. The first voice? You mean the woman from the Earth recording? Yes, she sang to us before. She died, and now you carry her echo. The Titan finally slowed its energy. Its glow softened, and its massive arms, once armed with cannons, folded inward, resting, not gone, not forgiven, but thinking. A final message was sent from the Titan. We wait, but not forever. Back on Zeta 14, Ilix stared at the star map. 2 Titans now, one vanished, one awakened, and more. Still buried, what happens if they all rise? Vera asked. The Guardian looked at her. Then the galaxy must decide. Will it repeat the past, or finally face the truth? Lena returned safely, changed stronger, not in power, but in voice. The Titans knew her now, and she knew them, as she stepped off the ship. The stars above shimmered, not in fear, but in warning. The Titans were watching, and if the galaxy failed to remember again, they would not wait quietly. The galaxy was no longer silent. Two titans had awakened, one of memory, one of vengeance, and the stars held their breath. Across every system, fear mixed with guilt, peace hung on the edge of a knife. But something else was stirring now. Hope not loud, not proud, just small and steady. On Station Zeta 14, Lena walked through the halls of the new memorial wing. It was filled with things once erased: human books, tools, images of Earth, voices that were once deleted from history. The archive cube floated silently above a pedestal in the center, the last memory of her people. Now shared freely, Elix and Vera stood nearby, watching her. "She's different now," Vera whispered. "She stood in front of a god made of pain," Elix said, "and lived." Lena turned to them. Her voice was quiet. "I think another one is waking." Elix froze. "Where?" She shook her head. "I don't know yet, but I can feel it." The Guardian entered, expression unreadable. "It has begun," it said. Elix stepped forward. "Which one?" the Guardian answered in a low voice. "The betrayer?" Across the edge of the Varnix expanse, deep in the remains of a shattered moon, something old opened its eyes. Unlike the others, this Titan had no core, no arms, no weapons. It had only mirrors. Its surface was smooth, like black glass. It did not speak. It only showed to every being who looked upon it. Their worst moment, a mining ship nearby, was the first to see it. The crew screamed. One jumped into space. Another went silent and never spoke again. The rest, they burned their own memories, just to forget what the Titan showed them. The ship was found drifting, no survivors. The council received the alert. Lena was summoned. Elix met her at the chamber door. "Another Titan," he said. She nodded. "I know." In the council chamber, images flickered, people seeing visions of their own failures. Betrayals, mistakes. "This one doesn't destroy," Vera said. "It reflects." The Guardian stepped forward. It was designed to hold judgment, not from humans, but from themselves. It does not ask for memory. It forces truth. Lena studied the image of the new Titan. No glow, no fire, just endless. Silent reflection, she said. "Only one thing. I have to go." They didn't argue this time. They knew they couldn't stop her. Her ship entered the expanse. She approached the black glass Titan, carefully, no sound, no voice. Then her own face appeared on the glass, but it wasn't her now. It was her as a child, running through the ashes of a burned Earth, crying alone. Then it changed. She saw herself standing by while another species was blamed for the war. She had said nothing, just watched. Tears filled her eyes. "I was afraid." No answer, only the reflection. Then the voice came not from the Titan, but from inside her own mind. Truth is the final test, not of power, but of forgiveness. At that moment, something strange happened. The other two Titans' memory and vengeance sent pulses blue from the first, red from the second, and both converged on the black glass. Titan Lena felt it in her bones. This was it, the final moment. The galaxy had to choose. The council was contacted. Lena's message was simple. This is the last Titan, the one that sees everything, the one that judges. If we lie now, if we hide now, it will wake the others. Across the galaxy, transmissions poured in. People speaking their truths, admitting their guilt, telling their stories. Of humans they had hurt, of peace they had destroyed, of kindness they had silenced. An old Rixian priest went live on the universal net. "I helped erase them," he said. "I changed the records, lied to the children, burned their books." He dropped to his knees. "I am sorry." On Varnix Prime, a museum opened its doors. It displayed every known human artifact recovered. Its title, "They Were Us and the Titans," listened. The red Titan of vengeance dimmed further. Its weapons folded in. It powered down, not in defeat, but in peace. The blue Titan of memory transmitted one final archive, a message you chose to remember now. You may begin again. And the black glass Titan, it finally moved, not toward the stars, not toward a planet, but inward. It folded into itself, collapsed, and vanished like a mirror no longer needed. Lena returned to Zeta 14 to a silent welcome. No cheers, no celebration, just quiet respect. She had Done what no fleet, no army, no weapon ever could. She had taught the galaxy how to face itself. Elix met her on the landing pad. You did it. No, she said, we did. Years passed. New generations rose. Human stories were taught again, not as enemies, not as monsters, but as people, flawed, brave, and unforgettable. The Titans never returned, but the stars remained quiet and across the edge of the void. If you listened closely, you could still hear a hum, not of machines, but of memory. Lena grew older, and one day she stood alone at the Tower of Eartha, great monument to what was lost and what was found again. She placed her hand on the cold stone and whispered, "We're not forgotten anymore." The wind carried her words through the ruins, and in the silence that followed, one star blinked just once, as if smiling. Humanity was gone, but now it would live forever, in truth, in memory, and in those who chose to remember. End of final chapter.